It can open doors. Because when committing a sex, it's the union of two souls.
Yeah. The husband and wife.
Union of two souls. So when it is not used properly, you open the door for the devil.
Just speaking about husband and wife as a family, how can I recognize that we are facing a spiritual warfare in my family, like especially as husband and wife, especially as as husband being the head of the family. How can we as families recognize that we are struggling with a spiritual warfare? We are going through spiritual warfare.
When there is a constant fight in the family for unnecessary reason, if you have opened doors, for example, if the husband is unfaithful to the wife or the wife is unfaithful to the husband, it opened doors. Okay? Now, a husband who is the head of the family, his responsibility is to lead his wife and children to God. The ultimate goal is to reach them to heaven. Similarly, the role of a wife is to cooperate with the husband to lead her husband along with herself and children to heaven. Okay? And that's the reason, even in marriages, you have to be so careful with whom you marry, how you marry. Today, we are living in a time where the mixed marriage are on a rise. Like the one party is a Catholic, another a non-Catholic or a non-Christian, and today I am having a lot of cases with problems. Because two spirits cannot live together. Oh, he is a good man, I am a good man. Yes, fine. Ultimately, to whom you are praying? With faith are you going to impart to your child?
Children.
No, when they grow up, they make a decision. No. I have had so many cases. Okay, the man married the wife saying that I become a Catholic, I marry you. There itself, the intention is wrong. It's not becoming a Catholic or a Christian to embrace Christ, but to marry a girl. And after a few months, he goes back to his old faith. Then there is a tension. It's too late. What can be done? So yes. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah. I think, is there any kind of sacramental grace in such marriage? What if the children remain unbaptized? Or like, what kind of dynamics would this family have? If the children are unbaptized and your spouse is one of the spouses not a Catholic.
See, if they have got married in the church, even if it's a mixed marriage done outside the
church,
the mass.
yeah.
Okay, but there again, the church encourages to bring the child in the aspect of faith.
Faith, yeah.
Okay,
Does it encourage or does it
well, I'm not sure about the right.
Okay.
What questions are asked there at the exchange of the ring, because I've not yet done any mixed marriages, so I'm not aware of it. But there is an option of mixed marriage in the church where it's celebrated either before the mass or after the mass. Okay. Now, what happens to these children? Well, I don't think so they'll be held responsible because it's the lack of their parents.
Yeah.
But it's again an opening for them to be under the influence of the evil one. That's the reason catechizing the person is so important.
Yeah, to working with them, to making sure that they're making the right decision, because it's not just them. It's not just me and my spouse. It's like, no, my children. What are my future gonna be like? What are their future gonna be like? It's very important. What can I do as a family, to spiritually protect my home and my family?
Like Pope Paul VI said, a family that prays together stays together. So again, faith is caught more than thought. You cannot, as a father or a mother, if you don't practice the faith, you cannot expect your child to practice the faith.
Yeah.
So how, as a father, how you, like, spiritual leadership, like the father is the head of the family, so his prayer life, his faith life example has a generational effect. A praying father or a mother sanctifies the home. In Deuteronomy chapter 6 verses 6 to 7, again we say, teach the words to your children when you sit in your house and when you walk by the way. When parents lead by example, blessing to children flows automatically. So that's the reason, family prayer is so important. If you notice now, even this was the one of the revelations that was given to Jacinta by our lady. I think even it was to Sister Lucia. The last weapon of the enemy is families. And today, if you notice, there is so much of broken families. Family life is attacked. Young couples are not getting married. They're not having children. Instead of that, having cat and a dog.
Yeah.
When you get old, when you fall sick, the cat or a dog cannot cook for you.
Because they'll be probably dead, right? They don't have those
Yeah,
many
even
years.
if you have a cat or dog alive, you're on a bed sick.
Yeah, correct.
Your cat or your dog cannot take you to the doctor
That's
or
true.
drive you to your doctor.
Yeah.
The attack is on the family.
Yeah.
Broken relationships, husband and wife, premarital sex, extramarital relationships, all these are in a rise today.
Yeah. The attack on the family is so real.
So pray. A family that prays stays together. I always encourage families to pray together and have a meal together. A meal together as a family.